He can't
Our
play.
manager, and this is again, I'll pass the floor to you lot. Our manager is absolutely scaring the whole fan base with his decisions and his breakdown of how he's seeing the game as well. Yesterday, like I should have known when he said in one of the press conferences, when we couldn't get when the Belabor deal was falling through, and he said
Mason
Mount
Mount
could
played it.
play deeper,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh,
Yeah, what do
but
you
I
mean?
thought but I didn't. It registers, but I didn't think he was serious. And then he showed us in the next game, I'm really serious about this. He's taking the liberties. And Bruno doesn't get a let off. We can talk about Bruno, but we have to talk about the man that decided that Bruno should, when all the money was floating about, this man has gone out and bought two tens, everybody. He's bought Cunha and he's bought Mbumo. Mbumo was bought later in the window. You've always known you're going to play Bruno deeper. He's always known that, but he's always known he's never had a partner for him. Now, if you're now not playing Sesko and starting with a false nine, now it lets me, bro, why did you spend all that money on Sesko if he's not going to play as well? Right now, there's no excuses for what the manager's doing. He's built this team with not knowing who Bruno's partner is. If he was surplus to requirements and you didn't see him in a 10, get rid of him. That was the truth. Get rid of him. You can't tell me he's just around because he makes the environment of the dressing work. I don't give a shit about that. You don't see, it doesn't work in your team. So now, unless he has to change it. This manager has to adapt this team. Even before, you were saying it before, Flex, about switching formations. I'm ready, bro, because I don't know where our next win's coming from. Let's have it right. I'm ready, bro. He can't tell. There's no excuses, bro. We're starting a team, yeah. We don't even imagine going to a game and we're playing Mason Mount and, excuse my language, Bruno as the double pivot. You're taking the piss. Nah. You're not serious. You created this and you thought this was gonna work. Fix it or change it, or you have to go, bro. That's all I want.
Let's keep the floor moving. KG's talking about formation change. This is crazy. We said this is gonna be an uncomfortable show. The system is shit though. In general, we'll talk about it, but I've just been thinking about it all. The system is dead. I think personally, I just can't see how it improves. Bradley, let's open up the floor for yourself, man. What are you saying on what you're seeing? And well, just all of it. Well, obviously, the main talking point is Mainu not coming on, still persisting without him. Some positives in attack, but the rest of it, what are you saying?
This manager is absolutely scandalous. He's a disgrace to this football club. He needs to be sacked sooner rather than later, because if he stays this full season, we're getting relegated. This is relegation standard. 15th last season, papered over the cracks. If it wasn't for Voldemort's points and Ruud van Nistelrooy's points, we would have got relegated last season. His in-game management is about as much use as a chocolate fire guard. His substitutions are a disgrace. His team selection's a disgrace. The way we play football is shocking. It's an absolute joke. How he thought Mason Mount and Bruno would work in a double pivot is beyond me. If you're going to take off Casemiro, put on Agate, even though I'm not his biggest fan, because we need some sort of defensive assurances with Bruno, because he's erratic as anything. I mean, it's just an absolute joke. And I don't even like the way how he talks. For me, he's a just for men Boris Johnson. He's a master manipulator. He's an absolute joke.
Tell us how you really
feel.
So,
do you think he's going to turn it around? Do you think he's going to be able to turn it around with any good results?
No, I don't. I think this is sabotage. This is sabotage at this point. He's already told us he will not change. We can talk about formation change till the cows come home. He's not going to do it. He's already told us if he changes, he's not mentally being himself. He won't walk. The club won't sack him. And he would rather lose or drop points playing his way of football than win and adapt. Is what I've seen. Because if he wanted to adapt, he would have adapted last season, because we're getting beat every single week. We can't pick up 3 points to save our lives, and we're just collateral damage. Us as fans, we're collateral damage at this point, and he just needs to go to, because this is depressing, because we're 2 games in and I want the season to end already.
Fucking hell. But it's true. But you know what? A lot of what Bradley says, yeah. Obviously, listen, Bradley goes in. Bradley wears his heart on his sleeve. He goes in. He'll cuss. He will say the mad thing. But I'll be honest. A lot of what you're saying, Bradley, I'll be honest, it's true. It's true. Listen, we had our disagreement kind of thing outside after the Arsenal game, because my point was, in that 90 minutes, we did actually play well, which doesn't transpire into it means we will play well against Fulham. But your thing was, I'm not even giving them credit for playing well because I haven't seen no improvement. They're still just as shit, which, to be fair, you just proved right. My thing was, I'm just still going to say they played well during that 90 minutes. But in terms of what you're saying about the team, I can't disagree. I can't disagree with like 90% of what you're saying. In terms, for me, the first time now, I looked at like just having 3 centre backs. So that there were loads of things getting to me yesterday, out of rage probably, yeah. But I looked at it, I goes, look at this, 5 defenders on the pitch. Like, I'm a Man United fan. Like, in my lifetime, I've just never seen that. But I don't want to keep getting married to like, or wedded to like, all the things that happened in the past. You know, it's like, oh, we never used to be there, because that's a bit, you have to be careful when you do that. But
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Arsenal defended with 10 players in the box last week, and we're saying that
but
they're good,
but
we can't do the same thing.
No, but James, what? No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They did defend with 10 players in the box. I get that. But what they're showing is that there's times where they do that. There's also times where they smash the shit out of people and go and beat these 5-0 like you're supposed to. What I'm saying is that, okay, I get like, it's not, you shouldn't just see like one bad performance, because we didn't lose. You shouldn't just see one bad performance and throw it all out. But actually, it is a bigger thing. I'm looking at it and saying, how he's playing, I can't see it developing into what it's meant to look like. And when you keep seeing all of these managers, and especially the players, when they're doing these post-match interviews, bro, this is the most scathing thing. When we're getting holes torn apart in our system, left, right, center, from players that are going, we knew their midfield too, we could really get in. But don't think they're in their WhatsApp and their team meetings going, they're just going to have them 2 men on the island in central midfield. We'll just run with, and then the manager has the input on top of that. We're getting done.
That's what I've been saying for ages, because it's not 3 at the back, it's 5 at the back. Ahmad is playing at right back. Who in the world will put Ahmad at right back? It's like putting Ahmad at right back in a back 4. We're playing fullbacks. It's not a back 3, because if it was a back 3, the 2 wing backs would be in line with the 2 central midfielders to create a midfield 4. We've got a midfield 2 in the Premier League. I know he won things in Portugal, but if I asked you how many teams can you name in Portugal, you probably can't name more than 4. In the Premier League, everyone knows all the teams. It's a completely different kettle of fish. If you perform badly and you've got a flawed system and you're not willing to adapt, it's gonna bite you back in the backside, because it's not going to work. We play 2 in midfield, and it's never going to work in the Premier League. And he's not willing to adapt.
Not with these 2 as well. Like, you have to have a different type of personnel for it to work. Let's. Do you know what? Because Dylan, one sec, Brad. Dylan hasn't come in yet. He's been waiting patiently. And then again, guys, the floor is open. We don't have to always take turns, but I know everyone really wants to get like this shit off their chest. Dylan,
I was just letting people say their pieces. And to be fair, Flex, I don't know how I can quite follow up what Devon and Co have just said, because, you know, I think a lot of what they say is correct. And just on the midfield 2 thing, and specifically Fulham's comments yesterday, after the full-time whistle, and then after I heard what Iwobi said, I went and looked at how they played against, and the final score of the team they played, who played the most similar system to United, which is Crystal Palace. Right? Crystal Palace played the same 3-4-3. Do you want to know what that result was? Crystal Palace smashed them 3-0. And it's like, Crystal Palace play, in theory, the most similar formation to what we play, right? The 3-4-3.
They played the same.
But Fulham weren't having these ability to kind of like just play in the pockets here and there and everything. And they got slapped up by Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace, who play such a similar formation, and have players like Adam Wharton, who we're looking at or who we want to sign to play in that exact same position. And the thing about Amorim and the whole consistency, inconsistency, not willing to change thing, I don't think he refuses to change anything. He does, it's the wrong things. Like he adapted last season, the formation and the way people played and where people played to get the best out of Casemiro. And we saw it, where he was telling Casemiro to stay back and he had other players going forwards and covering the areas Casemiro couldn't run to. And he's adapting to Casemiro, and he did a similar thing with Manu Ugarte, and he was trying it with Højlund and things as well, like changing things around to try and help them get the best out of their games. And then he's not doing it for like Kobbie Mainoo, who's better than all of them. And he's not doing it for Ahmad.
I think we have to be careful if we're saying to people who are vexed with what they're seeing that they're not in the right place to be angry. This is a continuation of last season. Obviously, it's still early.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
But it's like, I'm like, nah, man. It's like, we can't, if we go there, I think we're in dangerous territory because we can't act like that bit didn't happen. There's some mitigating things of he needs to buy his players, he needs the summer, all the things that Amorim told us. I need more time on the training pitch. I need this, I need that. So that's fine. So you don't get to say that. And then the first 2 games of the season, all right, Arsenal, I'll be fair. I was in the camp of, I still take the positives from that. But I said, I challenge you to prove that wasn't a one-off, though. Go to Fulham, because if you go to Fulham and do what we did do, it proves that you were just up for it because it's Arsenal, it's at home, first game of the season.
No, I do agree with that.
People are angry. Here's one as well, when you look at it, when you go about, is it just this system? Because are you telling me, and this is a question, like, not just to you, Dylan, I'm saying, like, to everyone. We talk about Palace, they play exactly the same system. Are we saying that William Hughes, because that's their starting central midfielder next to Adam Wharton, that's what it is. William Hughes is better than Kobbie Mainoo. It's better than Casemiro. It's better than Ugarte.
He's better than Casemiro. He's better than Casemiro.
Okay, so he's better than James.
That guy gets on the pitch.
So is it? So hold on. So is it? So here's my question: Is it that 2 in this league won't work, or is it our 2 won't work? Because realistically, we're looking at Palace and saying
it's those around. It's where the people around the 2 are placed or seem to be playing. That's, I think, causes more of the issue. So I said on What the Devil a couple of weeks back that I think Matheus Cunha playing in the left 10 will actually help our midfield because he likes to play maybe 10 yards back, right? He likes to get the ball to feet, turn and run. We saw it against Arsenal. We've seen it for 2.5 seasons against Wolves. He can turn a man really, really well and everything. So he likes to drop a little deep to receive the ball. So therefore, he is a little closer to midfield, which in theory would mean the midfield 2 don't need to cover as much space. And so far, he's been playing up front. So I do want to see what happens when Cunha's on the left and he's allowed to be like that, which then allows Mbumo and then Šeško, whenever Šeško's starting, to be further forwards and stay further forwards. But I don't think it'll have enough of an effect. But it's like Bradley said, in the way of the midfield, the wing backs, they're not playing on level with the midfielders. So the midfielders have more. There's so much more space for them to cover, and everything. Everything feels like, I don't know if it's instruction or if it's purely just the players don't get it or they're not confident enough to stay as far forward as they can. But whatever way Amorim's setting up, whatever he's telling them, just means that every time the midfield 2 end up on an island, whether it's the wing backs too far forwards or too far back, and then whether Cunha's not there to drop in or the middle centre back's not stepping up, it just every single time, no matter what way we try and organise the way we do it, it always ends up with these midfield 2
it's the way
being too far apart.
Yeah,
I had the line under Ten Hag, and I'm going to change it. Ruben Greyjoy would ruin a prime Brian Robson.
Yeah, you always used to say that about Ten Hag, innit? You always
the midfield, no one plays 2 in midfield.
Even but Crystal Palace do.
There are the teams that do.
No, they don't, because it's a midfield 4. Really, the wing backs are level with the 2 central midfield players. You can't.
But they're still only But they're still only playing with 2 central midfielders.
There's 2 central midfielders.
So there's only 2 central midfielders on the pitch. Yeah,
the idea that the wing backs aren't getting level, that you can say is a system issue, but that's not supposed to be that way. They are supposed to be level with the midfielders.
In other words,
they're either too high up or too far back.
One sec, guys.
So it's one extreme or the other every time.
Here's what's happening, and this is all on the manager. Our manager, the judge's style, our manager, what he's done is he said, I know, I'm going to take our most creative player who needs to play closest to the box because that's where he's most effective, and I'm going to put him in midfield. and then I'm going to leave him on an island, and then I'm going to invest in Cunha and Mbeumo. And that's Cunha and Mbeumo's fine. Okay, cool. But if you, like you said, KG, if you were going to do this with Bruno, you may as well have just sold him for 100 million. Yeah, you may as well have. You may as well have just sold him.
Or don't buy Cunha
and for me,
or don't buy Cunha and Mbeumo.
Or that. One or the other.
Because if Ruben Amorim wants to play his two best mates, Mason Mount and Bruno, they're clearly better in the 10. I mean, do you know what?
True.
Everyone knows my opinion on Bruno. I've wanted him gone for 5 years. I've never rated him. But
5 years is crazy. So that means as soon as he got here, he was like, he
should. 6 months in.
So when he had that 6 months, can I just ask something? Yeah. When he had that 6 months when he first got here,
it's been his 6.5 years. First 18 months.
Assists.
Yeah.
First 18 months, I was like, you know what? His numbers are very high. I'll give him. I'm not his biggest fan of his playing style, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I think in the last 5 years, I think especially in the Premier League, all competitions the GA stayed the same, but the GA in the Premier League has gone down to a point where it doesn't, for me, paper over the cracks of his poor decision making, his lack of discipline, doing short passes when short passes aren't on, doing long passes when long passes aren't on, running out the midfield. But even me, I'd admit that he gets GA and he produces numbers. And I'm not Bruno's biggest fan, but even me, I will admit that Ruben Amorim has just completely nullified all of his numbers and put him in the 8 position and completely exposed all of his weaknesses. So even though I'm not a big fan of Bruno, the manager has kind of thrown him under the bus.
Yeah. I think it's bullshit.
What are you saying, James? Let's go for it.
Bruno had a horrible start to last season playing in the 10 for 3.5 months. All the way to December, he was so bad. Times. He got sent off 3 times. No, but he got sent off 3 times playing at the 10 under Ten Hag. Then he played shit under Ruben for a month and a half. It's letting players off the hook to say, "Oh, you got to play 3 yards."
No. I'm not letting him off the hook. Off the hook. I don't like Bruno. Let's not get that.
But it's not being nullified. He does this all the time.
Exactly. And guess what? The manager picks him.
I agree. Week. But that's what I blame the manager for. I think it goes too far.
Now the manager's decided to do this more than ever, especially with the Saudi thing when they're not going there. Now more than ever, we're talking about Bruno like he's some scrub dead baller. And this is what I don't understand. I do understand how we've got here, but I just knew this would happen. But at the same time, because 2 things could be true, at the same time, if the manager wants to use him in this way, I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, James. You're saying that's a bit too easy to say that, but it is literally perpetuating all of his weaknesses, all of the things that he's not good at, and you're taking away some of the things. Now, Bruno's still good enough. Listen, Bruno's not going to play that shit the whole season. He's not. Evidence tells us that. Like the evidence tells us he starts slow and finishes strong. No problem. Like the evidence tells us when Bradley says he has these good purple patches that end up making the numbers be what the numbers are. But he consistently does that over the 5 and a bit years he's been here. But what I can't do personally, just me personally, is act like I think Bruno's just some scrub and he's just a dead player.
Ruben Amorim has joined this lineage of managers who ascribe to this idea of tactical periodization, which is basically that they look at who they're playing against and they set up their team to face who they're playing against, rather than managers who have their own style and will live and die by that sword. He's almost somewhere in the middle where he'll have that style, but he'll adjust it with personnel to suit who he's going to be playing against. So if you've done that, and you've decided 2 games in a row that Bruno and Casemiro worked as your double pivot in midfield, then, brother, I don't know what the hell you're looking at. And it says to me a lot that Kobbie Mainoo, who's been mistreated at this point, I wanted to say it was a point of like he was burnt out last season, he deserved more time, he deserved more rest, yada, yada, yada. And I agree with all of those points. However, in the Arsenal game, everyone and their mum could have seen that we needed to unlock an Arsenal defence. Why do you bring on a defensive-minded midfielder